Right, even though we have the copyright to the song, but too much trouble. So we started after the music stops. All right, we are preparing the live streaming, yes, on YouTube. This show is being streamed every Sunday night, and I think we're good to go. Even though we have the copyright to
There
the
we
song,
go.
but too much
Okay.
trouble. There we go. All right, live streaming on YouTube. Everything is ready to go. All systems go. All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to DayTradeSPY.com's Week in Review, aka Introduction Options Trading. Whatever it is, my name is Hugh, and there's my dog Lucy. May she rest in peace. I had to put her down a couple months ago, and we're totally heartbroken. But anyway, today is Sunday, April the 27th, 2025. And folks, there is a questions box. You'll find a little questions box icon on your Zoom dashboard. Just click on that. I am the only one that sees that, sees the questions and comments. And hope to get to all your questions and comments in a little bit here. All right, I'm going to leave you here for a few seconds so you can read this and make sure that everybody understands that anything we sell here, whatever we talk about, you alone are responsible for all your own trading, and past performance does not guarantee future results. I think you know what this is all about. Okay, it's all about education. All about education. This is like a university you can never graduate from. That's why we don't have degrees in this. Because as soon as you know, as soon as you learn everything, it changes. So, and that's why you have to stay afloat, stay on top of things. I'm just noticing here the lighting is not that great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the drapes here, close the blinds. I should say not drapes or blinds, and I think that will improve the. That should improve the lighting. Is that right? Will that work? Will that work? Let me take a look here. Okay, that should work. Okay, there we go. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. One thing else I have to do here is a lot of work here was I'm been a little lazy here tonight. I did not. I just got to do one more thing here. I have to send. Bear with me here, folks. Bear with me while I send myself the um, the link because I need to. It's a long story. I need to record it on my cell phone as well. So copy invite link to where did it go here? Hang on. Well, we're still waiting for a lot of people still joining us. Okay, so it's not like we're killing time here for nothing. I'm only going to be about another minute, if that, before we get things going here. And then I am going to start the session here. So bear with me. And in the meantime, I'd like to know where everybody is from. Why don't you punch up in the questions box where you're all from here tonight, folks? Just curious. Okay, because we get people from around the world on this. It's actually pretty cool when we go back and we see just what some of the reactions are and stuff from people and they get things like, "Hey, stayed up in the middle of the night to watch you," or this kind of stuff here. Okay, blank this one out. And we're all good. I gotta put this up here. There we go. All right, cool. I can look at you and I can see if I'm looking at you or not. Better lighting there. All right, to be discussed here tonight, last week in review, we're going to take a look at the upcoming week. You can take a poll. I like these polls. They're pretty fun just to get an idea as to what people's thoughts are. We're going to answer your questions. Questions box. You'll find a little icon on your Zoom dashboard. Again, I mentioned that. Okay, and what else? We got a little contest at the end of the night here, as we have been doing for the last little while here. And I just see all these comments. All right, where are we from? St. Louis, New York, Richmond, Virginia, Cincinnati, Houston, outside of Detroit, Atlanta, Columbia County, New York, Akramdale, New Jersey, Florida, Collingwood, Ontario, Twinsburg, Ohio, Connecticut, another Connecticut, another Florida, there's Texas, Alberta, Canada. Yeah, big elections coming up tomorrow, is it? You're going to vote for the next, who's it, Prime Minister or something? Um, Let me see, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. There's another one from Michigan, Idaho, California. Okay. UK. UK. All right. Troy. Troy, Illinois. Okay, people from all over the place. Cool. Another one, Georgia. Anyway, they're all coming in. All right, let's get started, folks. Let's get started. All right, and this gave everybody a chance to come online. We've got a lot of people here tonight. Lots of people. Okay. All right, so what's going on here? Well, my name is Hugh, for those of you who don't know, and I'm not going to give you too much detail. Just know that, I know what I'm talking about. As I mentioned earlier, just before we started, and for those of you who missed it, in about 2 weeks, May the 10th will be 15 years. It feels like 25. 15 years that we've been doing this, teaching people how to day trade SPY options. I got to be honest with you, I never in my wildest dreams, in my youth, ever thought I'd be doing this, even if it was possible. I mean, what do I know about options trading, right? I never stepped foot in a trading, on a trading floor. Um, Although I was at the Chicago board many, many years ago, just in the gallery there, watching things for about an hour, the craziness going on, and that was kind of fun. But no, I never. I always laugh because some of these programs you go to, and I gotta love them. You talk about, oh, so and so, yeah, they're on the trading floor, and they're so smart and stuff. But as it turned out, I never got a lot of great information from some of those people, and I'm not sure what they did on the trading floor. Did that make them better? Did they serve the coffee? Were they running out for the coffee for everybody? I don't know what they did. But anyway, not to put them down or anything, but not sure how much weight that carries. I got my experience from the gutter, from the street, from the trenches. Yes, that's where I learned all this stuff. I sure wish I had a Hugh and John Johnson. I wish I had one of those, some of those guys back when I was learning this stuff. My gosh, I would have saved myself a lot of money, a lot of money. I can't even imagine how much money I would have saved. But I go back sometimes and I think about some of the mistakes I'd made, and I thought, man, how did I even survive those days? What was I thinking? Um, One of my early starts is when I knew from a previous program that Hershey chocolates goes up every year, around February the 6th for about 2 weeks. And I doubled my money the one year. Now it doesn't do that anymore. At least it hadn't for years. But I doubled my money, and then I put my money into a tip I got on Exxon Mobil. My good friend Dave, he told me about Exxon. He's very close to Exxon. I haven't talked to Dave in a long time, but he did it separately from me, and I did it, and I made about $250,000 in about 3 weeks profit with an investment of about, I want to say, $5,000, $6,000 originally. Beginner's luck. I don't know. I never could really replicate that. But anyway, Dave, he also did a similar trade. In fact, he even took it higher. He took it to about, I want to say 275, 280, 290,000, something like that, some ridiculously high number. By the way, that was 2005. And that was a lot of money back then. And you could buy a really nice house for that price. But unfortunately, Dave also wrote it back down. He still washed out with about 15,000 profit. And he too started with about, I want to say $5,000, $6,000. But he got a little greedy. And then when the stock turned against him, he said, well, and he's one of these big jovial guys. Well, it'll turn around. It's my money they're taking and they got to give it back. And I didn't know anything about options really. I mean, very little. But he wanted to stay with it, and he stayed with it right until he wrote it all the way down. Funny thing is about Dave, I haven't seen him in a long, long time. Um, it was pretty devastating. I did visit him a couple times in the hospital for depression, but we never ever talked about it since. So I don't know if that put him in the hospital or not, but he needed to, to uh, just to relax a little bit, I guess, and veg out. So anyway, that was I took my profits because I figured, excuse me, making that kind of money, $250,000 in 3 weeks from about $5,000, that's pretty good, even for somebody like me who knew nothing. Then I'll just take it and maybe I'll get back into it later on sometime. Anyway, the stuff that I teach, I learned a lot of stuff from all these other courses, but a lot of theory, a lot of theory. And people would always say, this is what I used to love. They say, well, if you would have bought it here and sold it there. And I'd always say, well, pal, how did you know it was down there? And how did you know it's going to go to the top? You ever hear those guys? Oh, if you'd have sold it at the top, well, and did you know it was at the top at the time it was at the top? No, of course not. You knew that only after the fact, right? It was only an after the fact situation. So anyway, I did well, and I continued to do well, but I discovered some pretty cool strategies that worked for me. And those are the things that I now teach, just the things that work for me. Not to say it's going to work for everybody, and not to say there are no other strategies. There's an unlimited number of strategies out there, but this is all stuff that works for me. So I like those short-term breakout trades. That's my specialty. So things went along pretty good. Excuse me. And then a couple of years ago, we got the attention of Eagle Financial Products, which is a subsidiary of Salem Communications, Salem Media, which I will talk about in a few minutes. And they brought on some help. They said, Hugh, you need some help? Yeah, I guess I do. Sure. What do you got in mind? He said, oh, John Johnson, recently retired. He was one of their gurus. They got a handful of gurus. These guys are the cream of the crop and different people. But John's background is actually law. He used to be a lawyer, practicing law. He retired from law, and he trades. And he taught people how to trade too. It's similar to what I did, but he didn't have a trading room. I don't believe he had a trading room. Let's put it that way. I'm not aware that he had a trading room. But he developed his, excuse me, his own unique trading style many years ago, and highly acclaimed. He's been quoted in many, many publications and media, and he too has helped thousands gain success in the markets. His philosophy is very simple. Take what the market gives you. If the market gives you a dime at a time is just fine. It's not a bad way of going. And so the two of us, we kind of do the same thing. We trade SPY. And John comes from a different set of indicators. He uses a different set of indicators than I do. And I use my own set of indicators and he uses his. But we do the trading room together every morning. So we've got many years experience here. Decades of between the two of us, decades of year of I want to say probably close to, I don't know, 45, 50 years of experience that John and I do together. And if John says, hey, my indicators say the market's going up, and I say, yeah, I agree with you, I see the market going up, you might want to buy call options because the market's probably going to go up. All right. So, by the way, I'm assuming a certain level of understanding with options trading here. So, by with these seminars, these webinars. So, if you are new to webinars, and if you're new to SPY options, let me know. Maybe we'll do a little, you know, a little training at the end or something. But I used to do that a long time ago. But I found that most people, if not everybody, is aware of options trading. So that's why we sort of stopped wasting our time with that. A couple of quick announcements. I just want to tell you, Spy on the Market. This is our free newsletter. Goes out every Thursday. It's a very brief newsletter. It's very light, entertaining. All right. It's relevant to sort of the times. Make sure you subscribe. Just go to www.daytradespy.com. Oddly enough, that is our website. And when the pop-up comes, just leave us your email address and you'll get this in your inbox every Thursday. This week's topic is the best option to trade. Excuse me, the best option to trade. Um, I get questions a lot. I say, especially from new people, they say, Hugh, you know what? I pull up the options chain and there are literally hundreds of different options for me to trade. How do I know which one I should trade? I've been trading these really cheap options for 10 cents and well, sometimes I do okay, but other times I just lose my money all the time. And how do you always seem to make a lot of money? And what do you trade? How do you know which one to pick? Well, this is just a brief primer on the best options to trade. By the way, this Spy on the Market, it's really it's kind of a brief kind of a publication. You're not going to, learn everything about options trading and start making millions of dollars, overnight by just simply reading a newsletter like this. We are somewhat limited to kind of like a 3 minute read, 750 words or something. So, we try and keep your interest in it long enough to just, get interested and go on to the next step. But this week, the topic's going to be the best option to trade. Another thing I want to talk about is coming up, all right, Freedom Fest. Freedom Fest is coming up in June the 11th to the 14th. John and I are going to be presenting, I think, several times in Palm Springs, California. and we'll give you more information on that as we get there. It's called Freedom Fest. It's going to be at the Oasis of Liberty here, Palm Springs, and it's going to be pretty exciting. I guess we're going to be rubbing shoulders with all the big guys, the big cheeses and stuff. I don't know who they are, but anyway, it'll be fun, exciting, and hey, listen, who doesn't like Palm Springs? You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's move on here, folks. That's me again. And live and in color, here's what happened last week on the market. It's been a crazy week, but my beloved President Trump doubled down on the Fed Reserve Chair Powell. He said, "Oh, you can't quit soon enough. I'm gonna fire you, and I hate you. Die a long, painful death. All this stuff." Anyway, he amplified concerns about the central bank's autonomy, and that rattled markets with SPY dropping 14 points by the end of the day. That was on Monday. So he's sort of threatening Trump really wants Powell to cut interest rates and the Feds and Powell and all the presidents at the Fed Reserve, they're resisting it. They're saying, well, we're going to be more reactionary and see at what point we should do that. We don't want to be proactive. We want to be reactionary a little more and just see where all this tariff stock is going to take us. And as inflation starts rearing its ugly head, then we will respond accordingly, but not really before. And Powell is just keeping his cool, saying, well, I'm not going anywhere. On Tuesday, Treasury Secretary Bessent sparked optimism, noting that the tariff war between China, and the U.S. is unsustainable and that it would likely de-escalate. Well, that really inspired the markets. Bessent seems to have a calming effect on the markets. He's done this before where he kind of allays some fears in the market. And people, traders, investors seem to say, "Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Yeah." Anyway, SPY shot up to levels not seen since middle of April. So that was we kind of wiped out the losses of the last week there. That was on Tuesday. On Wednesday, Trump displayed a little softer stance on tariffs, saying that the tariffs on China will be substantially lower than the 145% rate hike currently applied. And that eased the markets a little bit. Of course, there's some nice move to the upside there. We gained a good few points, but then profit taking kicked in right around that 545 level, and um, and then it came back down to test some support levels down around 535. All right, dropped a little bit in pre-market, but we recognized the market was going to go back up. We've got a lot of earnings coming out now, right? A lot of some of the big name earnings are coming out in the year on Thursday and Friday. The big banks, all these people had issued their earnings, and the market went back up. Trump also scaled back on some tariff proposals, and the tech sector led a lot of the earnings. SPY shot up for the third straight day, and on Friday we had a slew of corporate earnings led by Alphabet, which is Google, their blowout results, and economic data also pushed SPY higher for the fourth straight day. I believe this is like the longest it's been in a long time here. And I guess we were pretty well out of that correction territory now. SPY topped 551 by the end of the day. It was a good day on SPY. It was a good day on SPY. Take a look at this. Yeah, there it is right there. Enjoyed the longest winning streak since January. All right. Okay. So here's a look at the seasonals. There's a seasonal chart here. All right. Just didn't want to skip over that slide too fast, but that blue line there is the current SPY price, and the red line is the average of the last 5 years daily closing price. And you can see the trends here. Let's just kind of zoom in on this. Historically, last week, SPY actually dropped about 4 points, but going into the following week, SPY is pretty flat. Okay, SPY is actually pretty flat. Okay, so I'm not sure where SPY is going to go now. We've got some real key things playing on the market, as we always do. Of course, tariffs seems to top everything, and whatever Trump says seems to take the market by storm, no matter what he says. Normally, earnings would be a big deal now, and economic data would be a big deal, but they all seem to have taken a back seat to whatever Trump says. Never realized that one man can have such power, such impact on the market, but that seems to be the way it is right now. Last week, the administration softened its stance. The peak trade uncertainty and market volatility possibly is now behind us. I mentioned this several weeks ago. I said, listen, don't worry so much about the tariffs. Just hold on. Sit tight, brace yourself for the ride, but it's not going to last long. I still believe this week perhaps could be a little softer still. He's going to ease up on things. And last I heard, there's like 90 countries that are now negotiating with Trump on various tariff deals. So we'll see what comes out of this. Further gains likely require more tangible trade agreements with major countries. Markets could be range bound this week. Periodic spells of volatility, though, as prices will work their way back up. All right. Current focus now is actually on corporate profits. Although with that, so the profits that they're reporting now are the first quarter, right? When the tariffs did not, they were not an item. They were not even talked about, I don't think. So, but what I think investors are going to be focusing on is the outlook, the future outlook of these companies. They're going to be looking at, well, what's to come? What are we expecting in the future? That's going to be the focus more than what the numbers are right now for the last period. Rebound since April the 9th, tariff pause triggered a 10% rally from the low, leaving about 10% off the February 19th high. We're right in the middle right now. Analysts do not see, excuse me, analysts do not see a prolonged or even a deepening bear market. Unlike several years ago, the Fed is in the middle of a rate cutting cycle and not looking to hike rates again. And they further predict a pivot to a pro-growth agenda. Of course, it's going to be largely dependent upon trade developments, and overall, they expect to remain range-bound for some time. So we'll see what happens. As far as the markets, SPY, nice little relief from reporting negative numbers the last several weeks. SPY actually reported a very nice 4.6% gain. Year to date, we're still down 6.1%. The Dow is down 5.7 and the Nasdaq is down 10% still. Of course, the Nasdaq is the tech-heavy sector, the tech-heavy index, and they are generally overvalued. So the first fallout seems to come off the big names like that because they're so overvalued, and that's why you see the Nasdaq down still 10%, which is one reason I don't trade the Nasdaq. Just way too volatile, and when that goes down, it goes down deep and hard, and it's just not a fun time. So, folks, we're gonna take a little poll now, right? And I stole it, took it right out of the Wall Street Journal. They had this poll about tipping. It's funny because we actually were talking about this the other day. I think it was in the trading room. I'm not really sure where we were talking about this about tipping these days. And it seems like ever since COVID, everybody kind of wants a tip. You go to your 11, your local stores, everything, your local Subway, and hey, listen, I'm giving you money, you're giving my sandwich, and what exactly is the tip for again? Please remind me, what did you do to get a tip? Of course, they shame you. They try to shame you into giving you a tip, and they'll say, "Well, just hit that no tip on the bottom." You're looking for. Where's that no tip? What do you mean? So you say, this is embarrassing. It's shameful. What do you mean? If I don't give this guy a tip, he's going to spit in my food the next time. Next time or what? So I want to know how do you feel about tipping? So I've got several questions here. How much do you give? How much do you want to give? So this is the Wall Street Journal tipping poll, and see how you compare. Now, the first question is this, question A. So you go to your coffee shop, you get two cappuccinos with your muffin. So punch it up in the questions box, folks, all right? Question A, type in question A. No tip, 15%, 20, 25%. Let me know in the questions box. I'm going to give you a few seconds to answer that, and then we'll go over and see where most people seem to fit in here. Already, I got some comments coming up here. All right. Okay, 20% more of the service is really good. Standard 20. Maureen says 20, Mark 15. A no tip. A no tip. No tip, no tip, no tip. I like the no tips on this one here. They're doing their job. Absolutely. David likes to give 20%. So you get a muffin and two cappuccinos, and the guy gets 20%. Okay. 15, 20, no tip, 15, 15. 15% of $2, whichever is higher. Okay. That's interesting. 15 no tips. A lot of no tips. 15%. Okay. It's just a simple order, 10% of his table service, 20%. Okay. No tip, no tip, no tip. Okay, they're doing their job. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, that you're doing your job. I don't know. Now, myself, if I like the person and if they, I don't know, if they're friendly to me, if they seem, I know they're doing their job, but if they seem genuine, I'll give them, I don't know, 15% or something, you know. Here's what the results stack up from, again, the Wall Street Journal, right? 55% of the people said no tip for that. Hey, two coffees and a muffin, you want a tip? Seriously? 35% say 15%, 9% 20, and only 1% said 25. Okay, let's see where you stack up. I think probably most people fit right into this no tip category, and again, 15 and it's 20. So, next question, folks. It's a sit-down restaurant dinner. You get a bottle of wine. No tip, 15, 20, 25%. Let me know what you think in the questions box. Okay, good food, good service, 20%, 20, 20, 20 minimum. Wow. Okay. Most people are coming up with 20% on that one. Here's one no tip. Okay. You're doing your job. 20, okay, 15, 15, 20 plus if it's excellent service. Not sure what the excellent service is. You opened the wine. Is that what you did? You didn't drop my dinner? Is that a is that, you didn't spit my food? Is that okay? All right. 15% of the food, good service and food. 15% or higher if it's great service. 20 to 25%. 20 to a lot of 20s here. Okay, a lot of 20s. Question be 15. Okay, 2020. I think the consensus is somewhere in that 2025. A few 15s. Okay, let's see. Here's how you stack up. Okay, cool. Majority of you hit this 74% said 20%. 18% said 15, and a few people threw in there to 25%. And 1% of the readers said 50 said no tip. Okay, cool. Question C. Question C. It's a sit-down meal at a nice restaurant, but the service is bad. Bad service. Okay. What do you think? Question C. Nice restaurant, service sucks. Okay. Okay. Maureen, I may not agree with you, but it is customary. I didn't establish the custom, but I know it's expected. Don't want to ruin anybody's day. Um, while you guys are answering that, do you know I stay away from certain places like that, like Subways. I'm thinking to myself, I'm coming in to buy a sandwich. I'm paying you some pretty good money for this sandwich, by the way. It's not like nothing. And it takes you about, a minute to make it, maybe a minute and a half if I wanted it toasted. I give you the food or the money, you give me the food, and you still want to, you're kind of embarrassing me, you're shaming me, it's awkward, right? So I stay away from places like that. So if I was a manager, they say, we're cutting this tip crap out, okay? We're not doing this. We don't need to. I pay my employees well. I want my customers to feel comfortable coming here and not feeling obliged to give more than what the menu price is. Now, there's one restaurant we went to a while back. I can't remember the name of it now. So they had their menu items you order, and then on the bill they put an extra charge in as well. So what's this? Oh, because our prices are so low, we add an extra charge. Oh, really? I thought this is crazy. All right, so let me see. Question C. If they check to see how you're doing, 20%, 15, no tip, 10 to 15% bad service, 5%, 10 to 15% tops. Ira, you're very generous. 15, no tip, 15, 10 to 15. A lot of 10s, a lot of 15s. There's still one bad service, Irving. You still give 20% on bad service? Really? Ed? 10, okay. 15, less than 15. 10% no tip. I think under 15 is kind of insulting, so I would probably go with a no tip if the service is bad. Because why reinforce bad service? If you give them a good tip, what are you saying? It's okay to have bad service and still get a good tip? You guys are very generous. 15%, a lot of 15%. I like Lee's here. 5% not coming back. Yeah, I like that one. I have not gone back to restaurants because of bad service. Oh yeah, and I'll tell people. No tip conversation with the manager. Yes, Don, I agree with you on that one too. Hey, listen, I'm sorry everybody's got a bad day, but you know, you leave your problems at the door when you walk into this place. When you come into work, you leave your problems at the door, right? Food lousy, lucky to get anything, $2 to $3. I wouldn't even give that much personally. I think if the service is bad, now sometimes you get good food, or sorry, mediocre food, but good service. There I will tip. I look at the service, I try and separate the service from the food here. Keep in mind these people work for minimum wage. Well, you know what? That's nice, and and the tips. But if you're nice to people, you can actually do very, very well on tips. I know of some professional, I'll call them professional waiters, waitresses. They do very, very well. Why? Because they're friendly, they're helpful. They'll give you extra, you know, when you go to Olive Garden and they give you extra mints at the end, they will get a good tip. Oh, here's another one I love to do. Okay, so it's Sunday night, we're just chatting it up, right? So this is what I love to do. The girl comes, the waitress comes over. Hi, my name is Stacy, and I'm your waitress. Okay, fine, Stacy. Thank you very much. And my name is Hugh, and this is Dale, and that's Fred, and that's George, and that's Mary, and that's Shard, you know. And I say to them, this I love this game. I look at the Stacy, the waitress, and I say, okay, so we will tell you our names again. If you remember our names at the end of the night, you will double your tip. You will double your tip. And I love it when the girls come back, the waitresses come back and I say, okay, so Stacy, what are our names? You introduce yourself. So now that we're all friends, right? So, okay, well, that's you. Okay, and that's Shar, and that's Dave, and Fred, and George, and, Dale. And if they get it right, they double their tip. I love it when they do that. So, all right, let's move on. Okay, how you stack up? 15%. Most people still gave 15% despite the bad service. Some gave 20%. 12% said no tip. So if you scored 15% in there, you're right in the middle. All right, next one. Sit down meal and the bill includes a credit card charge. I'm not really sure what that question means, but what do you say here? I think this is the last. I think it might be one more question after this. All right, no tip, 15, 20, or 25. Let me know what you say here. All right, sit down meal bill includes a credit card charge. What do you think? Okay. All right. 20%, 15, 20, 15, 20. Credit card charge has nothing to do with the service. No extra tip. No tip. No tip. 15, 20. The next question is what would you tip on the just the cost of the food, or do you tip on the food plus the tax and the credit card charge, those kinds of things? 20% not the waiter's fault, waitress's fault. No, 20%. Okay. Matthew, so that's a peeve of mine. I'll pay cash with a 20% tip. Okay, yeah, I like that. I want to make sure too that the waiter or waitress gets the tip and it doesn't kind of filter through to management. You know what I'm saying? All right, a lot of 20%. I hate those, but they're not the server. Makes you want to stay home and just cook, doesn't it? And Maureen says tip on the whole bill. Deduct the credit card charge, tip off that amount. Pretty well have to bring your calculator with you on these things. So yeah, most people said 15%. Well, split 15 and 20%. A few said no tip, some said 25. These numbers I'm giving you, these are not the results, by the way, of the folks who are answering on the chat box. Okay. Just so you know, this is from the Wall Street Journal, their survey. But I was so impressed with this poll, and we just talked about this. Okay, I'll bring this up here tonight. Final question, folks. You get a bottle of water at the airport concession stand. What do you think? Do you tip them? Seriously, you got money to burn? Okay. All right. I like the no tip, no tip, no tip. No tip, says Mark. No tip, no tip. Okay, I think the consensus is I like Mike G's here. NFW. I can only imagine what that means. Does that mean we have like a real warped mind when yeah, I agree with you. No tip. Waitresses get the tip. Why do I give a tip? And again, they got their little credit card machine out there. How much tip do you want to get for giving you this bottle of water? Really? Seriously? Which I probably got on my own anyway. No tip. Okay, no tip there. No tip there. No tip there. Oh, there's a place I go to for ice cream. They have these young girls working and they have a little tip jar for their college fund. Oh my gosh, this one really pulls at my heartstrings. I'm always leaving $5, five. Last summer I left a $10 bill for the, we call this girl Super Scooper. She's really, really nice, very nice, friendly, talkative. Hey, this is for your college fund. So if you're in business and you want to get good tips, just write a little note on your jar, the college fund, okay? That'll work. Okay, well, here's what everybody said. 98% of the readers said no tip for a bottle of water at the airport concession stand. And there you go. All right. Moving along. What's going to happen next week? Monday, low no news day. Jolts job openings, conference board consumer confidence coming up on Tuesday. On Wednesday, GDP, Chicago PMI, personal consumption expenditure on Wednesday. This is the Fed's primary indicator that they use to determine what the inflation rate is going to be. That's going to be an important number, okay? Pending home sales, ADP non-farm employment change, and on Thursday we've got unemployment claims, Institute for Supply Management Manufacturing PMI. Excuse me, not Friday, some earnings reports, Bureau of Labor Statistics, non-farm employment change. Here's what the volatility is going to be like. Low on Monday, medium on Tuesday, high on Wednesday, and Thursday, medium on Friday. Something to keep in mind, okay? So you can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money. Watch for some real shakers, movers and shakers on Wednesday and Thursday. Tuesday should be good too, as well as Friday. All right, Monday will be mostly technical trading. Now, all of that said, all goes out the window when President Trump speaks. Now, I don't think he spoke too much this last week, but whenever he makes a statement, that seems to trump everything, right? So we'll see what happens. All right, what are we talking about next? What do you want to talk about? Okay. Oh, our 2 minute tutorial. Oh, you're gonna love this one. Now, take note, folks. Tonight's 2 minute tutorial is going to be a little different. All right. I'm going to say this very slowly. This is actually a hot tip. Now, I don't normally give hot tips, but this one is worthy of passing on to you. I mentioned earlier at the beginning that we are owned by Salem Media Group, okay? Um, Eagle Financial Products is owned by Salem Media Group. And I just want to see who is all on bear with me for a second. I want to make sure that certain people are online here because, this is a good tip. I got a tip here for you all. Let me see. Where is my friend? Da, 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 da. Okay. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So Salem had a press release. I think about a week and a half ago. I think it was on the 14th. This is what the press release said. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details on this, right? This is just part of the press release, but I'm going to highlight some things that are, oh, where did it go? Where did the highlight go? Did I not have a highlight here? I guess maybe I didn't. Okay, let's go back to this. I'm going to highlight here some stuff that's kind of key. Isn't that odd? I thought I had it highlighted here, but I didn't. And I'm going to go back here and highlight, color, erase, spotlight, stamp, draw. Maybe if I draw a line here, regular line. Take a look at this. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to change the color of that to red. And I want to thicken it up a little bit. Okay, take a look at this, folks. Salem Media Group announces a landmark deal with Donald Trump Jr. and Laura Trump. Okay, and it goes on here talking about that it's a historic, multi-dimensional deal. You know what? I can't draw a straight line like that. I'm going to see if I can draw a straight line. Straight line. Here we go. Shape straight lines. Multi-dimensional deal. There we go. That not only adds two of the most influential voices in American media, Donald J. Trump and Laura Trump, but launches the company into an entirely new era of scale, relevance, and cultural power. Now, for those who don't know, Salem is, and by the way, they acquired a 30% in MXM News, or whatever that is. It's a news app, I guess. I'm not familiar with this myself. Co-owned by the Trumps, and entering into a long-term services agreement under which Mr. Trump Jr. and Salem will work together to develop a series of high-impact promotional and growth initiatives. Anyway, Trump Jr. becomes a key stakeholder of Salem, and a strategic force behind its future. Pardon my messy graphics here on this. Salem Medium is actually a conservative media outlet. They own over 100 radio stations and different things all over the place. So they've been around for a long time. So what does this do? What does this do to Salem stock? So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get rid of all these drawings. Okay, and I'm going to get out of this, and I'm going to go down to the stock. Salem stock, which is SALM. Now, again, I don't normally promote stocks like this, but this one I am, because instantly this stock went from about 45 cents. 45 cents. I'm going to give you a spotlight on this one here. 45 cents right down here. After this news, to over $2. So I was involved in a little, still am, in this little chat group with the gurus, the fellow gurus, and we talked about this. Actually, what happened was this press release came out during the trading room, and I was lucky enough to check my email. It popped up in my email. I said, "Oh, wait a second here, guys, take a look at this. I got to tell you this." And I just punched up in the chat group there, guys. I'd be buying Salem stock right now. And I don't know if anybody did, but the thing shot up from about 45 cents a couple of days to over $2. You could have made four times your money. So where's this baby gonna go? That's the next step, right? Okay, now let's see if we can do this here. All right, so I'm gonna erase this here line. Okay, how do I erase that line? Trash that line there, clear the door. Okay, so I talked to one of my analyst buddies, and he said you can expect this stock to hit $5 and beyond. Now, he didn't say when. I'm expecting it's going to bounce around and probably at some point start pushing back up again, especially as Trump Jr. and Laura Jr. get involved with this a little more, start whatever they do. This could be something that might be worthy of holding on to. So if you are at all interested in this, this is not doesn't look like a bad thing to get into, right? So we'll see what happens. But this is something that's pretty cool. And again, talking to my analyst buddies, they all concur that this thing could hit $5 and beyond. Those are their words, not mine. So just saying, just saying. All right, just saying. All right, there's your tip of the day. There's the 2-minute tutorial. Okay. So, all right, let's move on here. I can't seem to get out of this here. Clear drawings. Okay, I got to go like this here. Click on this and then go on to the next slide. All right, folks, you want to make more money? Learn to day trade options on SPY. That's all I got to tell you. And how do you do it? Well, you can actually do very well. And we talked about this the other day. If you just want to look to make $50,000 a year, it's not that hard. If you can find $5,000 seed money, and if so, you should be able to fairly easily earn $200 a day as a day trader. It's not that difficult. Imagine yourself in control of your financial future. It'll be financial security. And if there is going to be recession, who cares? We make money both going up and down. You can enjoy making money both in the morning and do other things in the afternoon. So you're not tied to the computer all day, which is what I really like. And what I like about this, you're not beholden to a boss or anyone else. No customers, no clock that you have to punch, no obligations, etc. The average, I think the average American salary is what, 60,000 a year or something like that. That 50,000 a year, that's at a sort of a straight line, $200 a day. But as you make more money, you're gonna ramp it up and get 250 and 300 and 400 and $500 a day, right? Imagine having all those material things that you want and being able to do the things that you want to do with the money, like help others and your family and kids and put your grandkids through school. As my fellow Eagle guru John Johnson says, being able to do what you want when you want, that's his measure of success. Seems to work very well for him, and it works for me too. And that's what I like about trading. I can actually do the things that I want to do. See, people think this is amazing. People think that, guys like John and I that we're always tied to the computer trading. Well, we're not. For example, with me, after I make my money in the trading room, I'm doing other things. Other things, whether it's even just, I don't know, hanging out with my wife, when I had my dog, take the dog for a walk, Lucy, we spend a lot of time together, going down to the beach, whatever it is you want to go poke holes in the clouds of my plane or go sailing or whatever, whatever you want to do, right? And that's really what it's about. Go hang out with the grandkids. Do other things. Just go for a ride. The car dealership where I go. My good buddy Joe, he and I went to high school together, so I buy my cars from him. And you know, stop in and say, "Hey, Joe, you got a coffee now for me? What's going on?" Yeah, come on, let me show you what's going on. That's what it's all about. So, how do you do it? Well, first of all, you got to join the inner circle. I tell all of our people to join the inner circle because this is where you're going to get the morning market analysis. John writes this thing very comprehensive, his view, his take on where the market's going to go on. Don't forget, John's got a lot of years experience. He's been there and he's done that. He knows what he's talking about, this guy. You're also going to get a flash assessment. This flash assessment as to where he sees the SPY going that day. You'll also get a follow-up report later in the day as to what we actually did in the market. Wednesday night meetups, you're going to be invited to this, and he runs the Wednesday night meetups. These are really good sessions where he answers your question and he'll talk about certain things, certain topics. You'll also get first notice of any upcoming events. And the price for the inner circle is an amazingly low price. Frankly, I don't even know what it is anymore because if you call customer service, email them, you'll probably get a better price than you see on the website, which is pennies. I thought last I saw it was like a cup of coffee a day type of thing, with no tip. Okay, so so really, you should be in this. And if you're not in the inner circle, right, I urge you to join. It's a great way of starting in with what we do. And like I say, you're gonna get this personal boutique service where we email you directly. And this isn't just theory. This is all really curated material that you're going to be able to use for what we do. We only trade all SPY options all the time. We don't do any spreads. We don't sell any naked position. We don't sell first. We buy and sell in that order, and we buy and sell calls and puts. All right. So for this and any other service, email customer service at daytradespy.com for pricing. All right, to give you an idea as to what we actually did this last week, let me explain this to you here real quick. And I'm just going to use my cursor because it's so much easier than fumbling around with those other. Maybe I could do that. I don't know if it'll work or not. Maybe it'll work. How about if I use this thing here? Will this work? All right, here we go. Let's try this. All right, there we go. You know what? I'm going to ignore this. I am going to tell you right here. We made 6% this is on Monday, 6.4%, 5%. These are strategies. Pick of the day out of the morning gate, OMG, day trade spy signal. And I'll tell you about the pick of the day and the day trade spy signal. Those are separate subscriptions, but the OMG is right in our trading room. Right here on my own trade, the $200 trade, which I'll talk about in a second here, ended up the day with a net of $300, so it was pretty good. My real trades, which is separate from the $200 trade, I got in at 882, out at 960. That was in 6 minutes. Did another one on some puts. Yeah, this is interesting. In for 42 cents. I bailed out at 43. I just lost patience. I picked up another, just a penny, which is basically break even. Give that to the broker. Um, and although those options did go up to 69 cents by mid-afternoon. So anybody who was in those puts did very well. John here, he records his trades 7:54 to 8:06. 1 minute trade, folks. That was a 1 minute trade. Got back into the puts. 7:69 to 8:08. 6 minute trade, and then he also did the OMG trade as well. That was Monday. On Tuesday. Okay, now what? I gotta go like this Tuesday. Oh, you know what? This is not gonna work. Okay, I gotta clear all these drawings again. Tuesday. Well, maybe we could do this again. Anyway, 6%, 6%, 5%. My trades, I picked up 549 net. Personal trades, 671 to $7, 672 to 710. These are all winners, 680 to 710. And look at this, not a lot of time, right? All right, got in here at 693 out of 745 in 6 minutes. John cloned the pick in the OMG for his own account. This was on Tuesday, I believe it was, and then on Wednesday. Wednesday, we got in the pick of the day, 6%, 6%, 5.1. 1665 net on the $200, 240 trade. Picked up another one here for another 350. Again, 970 to 1010. That trade was, I was in there for 3 minutes on that trade. John got in here, 996 out at 1086. He did very well on that one. That was a 5 minute trade. And this is Wednesday night. Thursday night, pick of the day, 6%. OMG trade 6%. My 240 trades, net of 713. John's trades, he got in, I guess, several trades there. 961 in, 1019 out. Second trade in for 836 out at 859. His third trade in at 827 out at 857. That too was a 1 minute trade from 951 to 952. We do this all the time. All right. Here you go. Friday, 6%, 6%. And let me see what else we did here. My 240 trades, net of 713. Um, anyway, it goes on. And these are the reports that we give you, and we give you other stuff too. But I'm just highlighting the results of what we did those days. So it's been a very good week for us. So now moving along, all right, I want to tell you about the Day Trade Spy Signal. This is another one of our services. We've got about four services that we like to talk about. This is a particular option that is texted to you on your cell phone, and it's delivered 3 to 5 times a week in the mornings. So you could be running around doing errands, taking the kids to school, doing whatever you do, and when your cell phone rings, flip over to your app, make the purchase, immediately put it up for sale for 5% target price. If it has not sold by the end of the day, just sell it for the market. All right. And there's enough time that it's not going to go to zero. You're going to get some premium out of it. But it's been extremely successful. I think we're pushing about, I don't know, 90% on this one. Same with the pick of the day. Both these services are pushing that 90% level. It's an algo-based system, okay? Morning trades, immediate buy, 5% gain. A lot of people that are watching the market, they do much better than 5%. I would say, I don't know how many people do better than 5%, but this is a basic 5%. So we have to have some sort of a target to differentiate whether it was a success or not. And that's what we do. So when it hits that 5%, we consider it a success, right? And again, if it's not sold by the end of the day, just sell for the market price, right? Again, for the price of the signal, contact customer service at DayTradeSPY. You can go to our website, daytradespy.com, and buy it there, but I'm thinking you'll probably pay more money if you buy through the website. So I'm giving you this really hot tip here. Contact customer service at daytradespy.com and they'll probably give you a better price. Next up is our pick of the day. Similar, but not the same as the Day Trade Spy signal. This one is actually handpicked by John and myself. We get together and we consult before the market opens and determine, is the market going to go up or is it going to go down? Are we at a conflict? Are we in agreement with each other? We hammer out the details. Well, what do you see, John? Well, what do you see, Hugh? He says, well, here's what I see, what we see. Then we see, well, based on the weight of our discussions and what we're, you got to pick a direction. And we hammer it out. We don't always agree, but we do settle on usually on something. Sometimes we'll tell you, no trade day here because the volatility is just too high. In other words, if we were to pick anything at all, you're going to pay more money. Then when they suck the volatility out of it, you're left holding the bag. We don't want to see you lose. So if you are subscribed to the pick of the day and you get the email at 9 o'clock in the morning that says, "Oh, no trade today," don't panic. Just say, "Thank you. You're saving my butt." because I'd rather not be in a trade wishing I was than to be in a trade wishing I wasn't, right? That's just one of our many mottos. I like the motto. I think my favorite is, we're not happy until you're not happy. Think about that for a sec. Anyway, that's a joke. Handpicked bought at market open. So 9:30 when the market opens, you wait a few seconds for the bid-ask spread to settle nice and tight. Make sure it's in a couple of cents of each other. And then if it's, for example, a call option, buy it right then when you see the pressure to the upside on the 1 minute chart. Now, if it's a call option, the pick, and you see the pressure to the downside, wait until it reverses on that 1 minute chart. Wait till you see the pressure, the green coming in that 1 minute chart, then buy it right there. You don't have to wait for the 1 minute candle to close. No, no, just get in right away. Jump right in. We are looking for a 6% profit target on the pick of the day. Usually comes within a few minutes, but if you need to hold this overnight, you can. There's usually enough time given for these options to, to just sit on the back burner for a while. You're probably going to be okay. We had some people the other day, they actually had the pick of the day and they held on to it, I think for a couple of days. And then the market, I think it was to the upside. And then the market actually shot up pretty good and they did very, very well with it. So, congratulations to those people who had the patience to hold on, right? Again, call customer service at DayTradeSPY. Just email them for pricing and they will give you the best price, the pick of the day. My favorite, of course, well, I say that, but because I do it. I mean, I like them all. They're all very good. They're all actually excellent, depending on your goals and aspirations and whatever. But the trading room, I think, is that that one piece, that we have that gives you live, real time streaming information coming at you as the market unfolds. It's hosted by John and myself, combined many decades of experience, and you're only paying not a lot of money for this. This is where strategies come alive. Every morning we get together 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern time, right? Pretty cool, let me tell you. You learn and earn, interactive, exciting trading. We teach what we trade and we trade what we teach. And you're going to get your questions answered in our live trading room. We've been doing it since 2010. Again, a couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating our 15th anniversary on this. Call customer service, daytradespy.com, get the best price. I believe you can get this now for $6.99 for a 3 month period. They also have longer term um, yearly rates, but I think the minimum is 3 months quarterly, which works out to, I want to say, $5 and change a day. I I don't even think that's half of a Subway sandwich. Why do I keep picking on Subway? I don't know, but it's without the tip. Folks, this is an amazing program. It's very successful. We have a lot of fun. We talk a lot about the things that go on day to day. We talk about other things. It's entertaining. You're getting a lot of information. And I don't know if you can afford not to subscribe to this. And I really highly encourage you to consider this. Okay, we have a lot of fun. We do a lot of things together. All right, next up, I want to talk about my turning the 5K into $50,000 by the end of the year. We got hammered there a couple weeks ago, about 2, 3 weeks ago. The tariffs kicked in, and we're in some trades, and as it turned out, we cut some losses and we kind of went a negative, but we're climbing out of this nicely. You can see here, our target is $240 a day. We've been doing 300, 549, 1949. So we're pretty aggressive here. We're slowly climbing out of our hole. All right, got into a hole. We're in the plus side. We are in the plus. Our current balance is 87.84. Started with $5,000. I was hoping to be at that 22,600 level now. So about 13, 14,000 under where I expected to be, but we're getting caught up. And am I worried about it? No, not at all. I've got to the end of the year to bring this up to 50,000. I'm working with a gentleman on this, and I think I can even top the 50,000 plus without too much difficulty if all goes well. So I'm pretty confident that that's going to happen. All right, so let's take a look here at some questions. Okay, close this up. For those reasons, join our programs, folks. and learn to day trade SPY options. All right, you really should, because I think this is where you can make money. You can make money on both going up and down. Unlike, say, mutual funds or something, you can only make money going to the upside. Not a place you want to be, especially when there's a lot of volatility and you get this self-imposed recession if we're going to get into one. We'll see where Trump's whims are going to be this week. And I mean, overall, I think the market's probably going to go up long term, as it sort of wants to. But by day trading, you're just chopping away at the bit, little by little by little by little, right? And you're building your account little by little. And I think that's the way to do this. So, all right. Question: Did 40% Salem sold? No, Salem did not sell. They bought into the Trump's programs, whatever that thing is. I'm not familiar with it, but somehow they formed this alliance. Okay, so all right, we'll see what happens. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's thanks for that, Ed. Nice to see excellent results this week. Best sales tools. Look, we make money, but it's not about John and myself. We can make money, okay? We want you to make money. See, we don't actually have to do this. Well, we kind of do now because we're under contract with Eagle and stuff, and that's fine. But we enjoy doing it, and we get a real thrill out of seeing you guys and gals make money. As an example, every day in the trading room, people chime in, well, I just made 5%, I just made 15%, I just made $1,000, I just made, they report in unsolicited. And we like to help people make money. We don't like to see people losing, so we try to help people if they're struggling. If they're being challenged, we like to help you. And that's kind of what we do. So we're there really to mentor people. I mean, I would love to do personal one-on-one mentoring, but it's physically not possible because there's so many people out there wanting this. And we did this for a while, but it was all consuming, like all consuming. So we try to do this in the trading room. And in the trading room, as an example, if you do have a question, do not be shy to ask it. Because chances are, if you're asking a question, there's 100 people behind you thinking the same thing, right? And I think that's really important. So, how can I get the fire going? There's the fire. So, that's kind of where I am with that. Um, Let me see some other questions. I don't want to keep you all night. It's 9:04. But yeah, so we make money, but we're really interested in having you make the money. That excites us even more. So, right, what do you think of using SPX equivalent strike to your SPY strike? One can trade before the opening bell on SPX. So SPX is the basket of the top 500 stocks. It's a lot more expensive. The options are a lot more expensive, about 10 times the price. Many years ago, actually, I started trading SPX before SPY. Then I discovered SPY, and I thought, whoa, this is where I want to be. So I shied away from SPX because I thought SPY had more liquidity, more volume, more everything. It was much less expensive. More people can get into that. Um, I think if you're trading, Lee, if you're trading like $1 million plus, or $100,000 plus, maybe you might want to look at SPX. That would be probably for maybe better suited for that. If you're trading just a few $1,000s or 10, 20,000, I would probably stay with just SPY. SPY can handle pretty well everything you give it. Years ago, I used to trade $100,000 plus with SPY. I don't do that anymore, but SPY can handle pretty much whatever we throw at it. Okay, they have certainly a lot of open interest and volume. Now, if you're in some really crazy option chain that only has, 38 options on the board, you're not going to get filled, right? You don't want that. You don't want to be trading those. You want to go where the fish are. So look for the fish where you see high open interest. And then when the market opens, high volume, you want to see where there's the volume, which is usually around that at the money option, okay? So take a look. So all right, let's see any other questions here. A lot of questions on the board. Rainey says, Rumble is owned by, okay, I didn't know that. I'm not familiar with what Salem owns. They own a lot of different things. He also says the trading room is excellent, well worth the price. Take it from one of our subscribers, folks. Okay, congratulations to Monica, Monica M. She says here, I just joined the pick of the day this week. My first two trade days, Thursday and Friday, I made 5.8% and 22% respectively. Thank you. Congratulations, Monica. Nice, nice, nice. Daniel says stop losses of 40%, quite high. Okay, so we've got different opinions on using stop losses. The folks at Eagle like to see a closure on these things. So we like to say, you know what? And we like to also say, listen, if you're not comfortable with holding something overnight, or if it goes below 40%, we've been saying, listen, if the stock turns against you in a big way, so you can do a couple things. Personally, I like to see why it went down that way. And usually I find out that it's some news event that's going to wash out fairly quickly. And if I have time in the option, I'm going to just hold on to it. And I can always repair it later, which is something we also talk about in the trading room sometimes when we do repairs. But I don't just jump out right away because the stock turned against me. If I have time on my side and I look at an overall picture being a very positive picture for my option, I'll stay with it. Now, some people are very uncomfortable with holding a losing position. They'll take a stop at say 40%, which is what we'll say. But other times we've been saying things like, well, you know what? Hold on and just wait till the end of the day and see what the stock, the option will give you if you really want to bail out by the end of the day. Usually the picks that we give you, they have ample time in them so that um, you can actually hold on to those and they'll usually come back to life the next day or the day after. So if an option is going to expire, okay, so Mondays and Tuesdays, usually not always, but usually our expiration date is going to be the same week Friday, okay? On Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, usually our expiration is going to be the following Friday. So that gives you ample time. But I'll tell you, if I'm holding an option this week and it's going to expire Friday, I would like to be out of it by probably Wednesday. I would probably really need a very compelling reason to stay in it into Thursday and Friday. Thursday for sure. I would be out of it Thursday. Now, sometimes what you get is, say, Fed Chair Powell speaking on a Wednesday afternoon. That could be a compelling reason to stay in it, depending on how you feel. He's going to allay fears or he's going to instill fears. Usually he's been trying to temper the markets a little bit and saying, well, we're just going to be reactionary and we don't see inflation being a real problem now. We're going to leave interest rates where they are, or, whatever, right? So that's kind of the way that is. So um, I see the time is almost 10 after. We're going to have a little contest here. I am going to present the winner with an ebook that is called Hugh's Triumphs and Tragedies. This is it here. Personal tales. These are stories, real stories. Goes back years, and I've been adding to it over the years. And I think right now we're up to about what 42 pages or something way down here. True stories of people that have come through our programs, and kind of nice reading, interesting reading. And we're going to give this to you, to the person who wins the contest here tonight. Does it come to an end here? It's got to come to 42, but here we are. So you can print it out or read it online, whatever. But I'm going to send this to the person who gets the number, and anybody can actually play this. So what I want you to do is now, all right, I want you to, all right, pick a number between 1 and 100. I'll give you a minute to think real hard. Pick a number, put it in the questions box, and the person closest to the number is going to win the ebook. And I have a random number generator, which I'm going to pull up here after I get everybody's or most people's numbers in. I'm going to wait until 9. I'm going to give you a minute here. I will keep talking for a minute until you punch up your numbers, folks. Give me your number. I think last week we had somebody right on the money, which was just great. So that'll be pretty cool. All right, so just punch up the number in the questions box, folks. All right, here they all come. Look at them all. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Another few seconds here. What about another half minute or so? All right. This is great. I I like all these numbers coming in. Look at these. Wow. So yeah, so John does Wednesday. That's why he's not on tonight. So my associate John, we give him the night off. Say, John, you know what? We don't both have to be on everything. Listen, take it easy. I know, you're an old guy, John. Yeah, he's younger than me, but he's yeah, I got to take care of these guys, these young guys, the kids. So he goes, I say to him, you take the Sunday night out, be with your family, do whatever you do, and you do Wednesday nights. You give your lesson, which is really he loves them. He curates these lessons. He spends a lot of work on these things, and then he does the Wednesday night. So he gives me the Wednesday night off and I do Sundays and he does Wednesdays. So, and we both do the trading room together, all right? And if you're not in any of it, now we got some people, they're in all the programs together. And you might even want to contact customer service at DayTradeSPY and say, listen, I want everything. What's the best price for everything, right? I'm not supposed to really say that too much, but all right, we're going to cut it off now. And I'm going to bring up my trusty number generator. Let me see where it is. Here it is right here. Okay, so that's not the number. All right, that's from before. And I am going to go in here. The number is 97. I just hit the button. It's a random number generator. The number is 97. Let's see, who do I have that is the closest to 97? Give me half a second here to scroll up here. This one have to go back. 97 here. Okay, Irving came in at 83. All right, Tom J came in at 89. I'm gonna write these names down here. All right, 97 was the number. Okay, 97 is the number. It's right here. I'm gonna show you right here. And let me see who else. So far, Tom J has it at 89. Okay. Okay, I think Tom J's got it. Tom's been with us for years. Good to see you online, Tom. Wow. Okay. Congratulations, Tom J. You will be getting the ebook sent to you soon. Just want to make sure, check everything else. Wow, he came in at 89. One more quick question. Maureen is asking, what is the Wednesday night program? Okay, so it's part of the Inner Circle. All right. You're going to be invited to our Wednesday night interactive webinars where we talk about SPY all the time. John hosts that, and bring your questions, right? And it could be anything from, chart setups to chart patterns to anything. The trades of the day that we had done, the just about everything. So goes for about an hour. I think last time he was there for an hour and 20 minutes. Very good, very entertaining, interactive, asking questions. So Inner Circle members get that extra little service. So, and that's it. Folks, it's been a pleasure. It's now 9:15 Eastern Time. Listen, if you stay long enough, you're going to get the subscription page to the trading room. So stick around. The recording will be going out soon too, and actually it'll be online, I think probably tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Give it all to you and trust the process to keep your eyes on the prize. I can